Hey folks, coming up on Hands on Tech, my co-host and I, Rosemary Orchard, on iOS today, talked about our favorite Apple accessories, the Apple accessories we're using all the time. So we've rounded that up for you here in this episode of Hands on Tech. Take a look.
This is TWiT.
So, Rosemary Orchard, I am so pumped to hear about your favorite accessories for iOS, iPadOS, etc., etc., etc. Do you want to tell us what comes first in your grab bag of goodies?
Yes, I'm very happy to tell people. So first off, I would say that if you want an accessory for your iPhone, your iPad, your Apple Watch, your Mac, your Apple TV, there's one accessory that actually goes with absolutely everything. And that's AirPods or AirPods Pro, or you could have AirPods Max. But I mean, if you're looking to go on the slightly lower end of the budget, then AirPods or AirPods Pro are going to be your jam, and they're pocketable, which is great because I have to say I used to do a lot of traveling in the before times, and the AirPods Pro pretty much became my short haul flight headphone of choice because they take up very little room. The noise cancelling on them is very good, and they last for a surprisingly long time. You pop them back in the case when you're running to the bathroom or something like that, and they recharge back up really quickly. You can get them engraved with emoji or words or your name or something like that if you want to. But I just find that they are a really neat little accessory. Now, they are not the cheapest. AirPods with wireless charging are $199, and the AirPods Pro are $249, which is only $50 more. So if you're considering AirPods or AirPods Pro, then I would say the AirPods Pro are probably better bang for your buck, just because they work with the noise cancelling, and they've got the option to do the transparency mode, and they can work with your Apple TV as well. If you live in a household with some other people, then that means that every so often you might want to watch something on TV, but you don't necessarily want everybody else to hear it. And you can connect your AirPods to your Apple TV or somebody else's Apple TV if you're at their place and they want to show, a couple of people something and not everybody, then you can hear that. And I really, really like them. They are pretty much always in my handbag. I have the AirPods as well. I got the AirPods before the AirPods Pro came out, and they're both absolutely great. My parents both have the original AirPods and really like them. They are great. And, if something does happen, if you lose one of them or something, you can get an individual one replaced from Apple at the Genius Bar. Obviously, you're going to have to pay for that, but you don't necessarily have to buy an entire new set. Though if you don't have the wireless charging, you can get the wireless charging case independently, which is great. And these are just wonderful headphones. I really like them. They're really small. They are totally wireless. And they're a game changer for things like making phone calls while walking around. I can just leave my phone somewhere, put an AirPod in an ear and walk off and chat for hours if I want to. It's not a problem.
Nice. Yes. I also have my AirPods Pro, which I very much love. And you know what? I would love to hear, but it looks like we both are rocking cases.
Yep.
Mine is from Nomad, a nice leather case that's gotten better over time. And I like you've got multiple colors there. Are those like soft silicone?
Pop socket cases.
Oh,
so these
really?
So if you have the interchangeable pop sockets, then you could actually put your AirPods or AirPods Pro on the back of your phone. Now, I confess, I have never, ever, ever done that, just because that's not really me, and it's kind of a chunky thing to have on the back of your phone. But what I have done is I got the pop socket keyring, which means that I can just pop these on a keyring, and that keyring lives in my bag. So that means that attachment is always there in my bag ready, and then I can just lock this on so that then if I'm looking for my AirPods in my bag, then I find them. Now, I will say that on the AirPods Pro is not quite big enough. I'm just going to try and slide off the bottom of that case so that you can see how much extra space that adds, because otherwise this pop socket attachment here isn't quite big enough. But I love the bright neon colors. They're really easy to clean, and as you saw, it was pretty easy to get off. I usually just lift the lid and then pull the base, and then that re-enables wireless charging easily.
Nice. Yeah. The one thing I like about mine is that they include a little hole in this, or 2 holes in the side, so that you could put a lanyard on it. And so this is a really handy way to just keep those by you. Now it does work with wireless charging, but I noticed that it doesn't work incredibly well with wireless charging. And the more trouble that a device has charging, the more trouble a wireless charging pad has charging, the hotter it makes everything. And so I noticed in keeping the case on, things were getting pretty warm, and that's something that I'm not comfortable with. And most of the devices that you're going to use, the Qi charging, it has built-in protections for heat and all that kind of stuff. But still, it was like, all I have to do is just slide it off, and then, then I can pop it onto the charger as I need to. But as far as being able to just kind of keep this in my hand very easily, and also spotting, it visually takes up more space. It's 2 contrasting colors, and so it makes it easier to see where I ended up leaving my AirPods. So I really like that Nomad case, and yours definitely you can spot from across the room, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah, I do actually have a little pro tip for anybody who wants to charge their AirPods wirelessly on a standing charger. So that's one of the vertical ones, because usually the AirPods will not reach to the middle if you try and do that. So there's a couple of tricks that you can try. You can hold them upside down with the lid on the bottom, and that might do it. Or if you put a case on your phone, then you can pop the case off and then put the AirPods on top of the case. And that should just hold them up high enough that they should then be able to charge on one of those standing wireless chargers. So bonus tip for everyone.
Yeah, good little tip. So speaking of wireless charging, my next pick is, or my first pick rather, is one that I just absolutely adore. This is the Belkin Boost Up Charge Pro 3-in-1 wireless charger with MagSafe. A very long name, but this is one of Belkin's newest products that offers MagSafe charging from Apple's new MagSafe charging, as well as a standard Apple Watch puck for charging your Apple Watch. And then on the bottom is a Qi charger on which you can put, for an example, as I put my AirPods here. This, you can see there's a little black dot here. That is where the green LED is. And anything that goes in my bedroom, I cover with, these are called, I can't think of what they're called now, but they're little, you get a whole sheet of them, and they're just little stickers that you can either get them completely opaque, or you can get them translucent. And so it can kind of reduce light that's coming out if you still need to see the lights underneath, or completely cut off the light. And those are just very handy. I mean, you can use gaffer's tape, you can use electrical tape. That's what I used to do, but these are just so convenient to, you just peel and stick those on there. So that's covered up. But this is a really well-designed product. It's got nice, metal and a very soft, like silicone feel. And then it does the thing that you don't get with a lot of other wireless chargers is the full power that you can get with MagSafe charging. Well, this one, because it is a made for iPhone device that supports MagSafe, you get the full charging. And so, yeah, as Kevin is showing in the video, the iPhone can slap magnet onto that puck with the Apple Watch next to it and your AirPods below. And even with my big honkin' iPhone 12 Pro Max, I can have it in both vertical and horizontal orientation on this charger if I want to. Although I keep it's for charging by my bedside at night, and so I don't really need to do that. But it's so handy to just be able to magnet these on and kind of not have to worry about it. And then I used to have a 3-in-1 charger that laid flat. It was not MagSafe, and so there was a zone where you could put your phone, a phone zone, a spot where you could put your Apple Watch. It had like a lift up thing that was an Apple Watch charging puck, and then a spot where you could put some AirPods, and it kind of dipped in the middle so that you knew where to put them. And that was fine, but it took up a lot more space because they were all laid out side by side. And also, I would find myself sometimes in the dark missing where the AirPods were supposed to go exactly, because the dip isn't super severe. With this, not only do I get that physical, tactile experience of that magnet happening, which makes it easy to just drop it on in the dark, but it also takes up less space because they've made part of it vertical as opposed to being laid out horizontally. So I'm not going to lie, it's rather expensive at $140. And so I think you really, this was one of those purchases that it was just something that I wanted. And, it was definitely not a need. It was a want. And I, wanted to be able to have that MagSafe charging by my bed and have it all be in one device. And so you really do pay to have all of those things. But it is premium design. It is, top quality, and it is made with Apple Watches, with Apple's top charging speeds that you can get from MagSafe. So it's kind of a bleeding edge in terms of that, which is what you're paying for, I think, partially with the price. But I've found it to be worth it. I mean, literally use it every day because it charges my devices at night when I lay my head down for sleep. So yeah, that's the Belkin Boost Up Charge Pro 3-in-1 wireless charger with MagSafe. It comes in black and white options. It was originally exclusive at Apple. I'm not sure if it still is, but you can also go to Belkin's own website and check it out there. And they also have one that has just the MagSafe for iPhone and then a spot below for like a normal charging puck for charging whatever you want. So I think that's called the Belkin Boost Up Charge Pro 2-in-1 or something along those lines. So yeah, that's my next pick. What about you?
Well, my next pick is kind of similar to yours, except my next pick is the Geekera 3-in-1 charger. So this is that charger, and it's a wireless charger. So it's got a standing charger here on the front, which your iPhone, this is my iPhone 12 Pro Max, fits on. This is not plugged in right now, so it's not actually charging. It's got an Apple Watch charger on the top, and then on the back, it's got space to put your AirPods or AirPods Pro if you want. Now, this just uses Qi charging, except for the one at the top, which is an Apple Watch charger. They also do a version of this for the Samsung charger. But what I like about this is it doesn't take up much space at all. It takes up even less space than your charger that you've got there, Mikah. And I've got very small little tables built in by my bed, so I don't have a lot of space for these. And also, the other bonus is this is around about $48, and I believe there's a discount on them on Amazon at the moment. And it comes in black and white. But one of the things I really love about this, which just shows attention to detail, is when you put a device on here to charge it. So say I put my Apple Watch on the top, it would light up in the stand at the bottom, the part that your phone sort of rests on the shelf. It's got 3 LEDs built into it. So if you put your phone on the top, if you put your watch on the top, it lights up the first LED. If you put your phone on here, it lights up the second LED. If you put your AirPods or something else on the other T charger at the back, it lights up the third LED. But those go out after a minute or so. That doesn't mean it stopped charging. It just means that it doesn't light up your bedroom like a Christmas tree while you're trying to sleep, because they're quite bright LEDs, but it's a really nice little confirmation, as well as what you might get from the device, depending on whether or not you've got sound turned on. That shows you, that it's actually charging. So you pop something on and it actually just works. And I love it. I actually bought 2 of these. I've got one on each side of the bed, so I can put stuff on charge on either side. And because it's a Qi charger, it should work with, any phone. So, if somebody, comes over and says, oh, can I borrow a charger? I can say, yeah, sure, give me your phone and I'll just put it on charge for you. And it works really well. And I have to say, I really appreciate the LEDs, because this is quite a thin shelf on the front. So if I wanted to cover that with some kind of tape or something, that would be quite tricky. But this works really well. I'm really pleased that I found this on Amazon, and it appears to be available on most Amazons. I got mine on Amazon UK, and I think it's actually cheaper than in the US. So anybody else in the UK who's there going, oh gosh, it's going to be like £75. No, it was around about £40, I think. So it was actually about the same price. But I'm really pleased with this device. It works really well. It allows me to charge everything at once. It works, and it's small. It takes up the minimum amount of space possible for what I needed.
Nice. I like the indicator, even though, for me in the bedroom, not a huge fan of LEDs. I do like that 3-dot indicator so that you definitely are aware of what's charging, what's not, and the simplicity of it. I think that that's quite nice too. I wanted to briefly mention the product I was talking about before. They're called LightDims, and they're actually only $8 on Amazon for a bunch of them, and you get them in all different. They come in circles. They come in squares, they come in rectangles, and so you can peel and stick however you want to. I use them everywhere. I've got them on, modems. There are two different versions. As I said, the blackout one completely blocks it out. And then there's just the regular version, which just reduces the light. And many of them I have just reduced light and put them on routers, modems, hard drives. Even in my kitchen, I've got them on my dishwasher. Basically, everywhere there are LED lights that are trying to shine at me, I either reduce the light or completely cut it off, depending on where it is in my house. So yeah, that was a tip from Leo a long time ago. He even uses them in hotels because hotels notoriously have like some sort of device that's in the room that's just blasting you with blue LED light at night when you're trying to sleep, and that's important. But my next pick, again, another expensive one, but I promise you I don't just buy all of these things at once. These are spaced out over a long time, and I think it was shortly after my first year here at TWiT, I decided to treat myself with a purchase that I'd been wanting to make for a while. I had the original Ember mug. I think the original one was 12 ounces. And I wanted to, the one thing that kind of bugged me was that it did not take as much liquid as I would like for it to take. It would not hold as much liquid as I would like for it to hold. And so when Ember announced the Ember Mug 2, they announced a 14-ounce mug, and that was the one that I purchased. I have now. So it's 14 ounces. It's available for $130. So again, this is, and every time I've ever talked about the Ember Mug, I've always said this is absolutely a luxury. It is absolutely, a ridiculous purchase that nobody needs to make. But as I was, what is the word I'm looking for? I was celebrating a milestone, and I, wanted something that I would use every single day, and that is this. So for folks who don't know, the Ember Mug, the reason why I'm listing it as an accessory is because it's Bluetooth connected. So how this works is it's connected with an app. It's the Ember app, and it connects to the device over Bluetooth, and you put a hot liquid in it. So maybe I'm brewing tea, and you pour in the boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius, and that's right, I do use Celsius when it comes to my water. And so at 100 degrees Celsius, of course, is the boiling point. You pour that in for like a black tea, and you let it sit and steep, and over time you tell it, I want the temperature in this mug. And I'm going to switch it back now because now I go to Fahrenheit for the app. I want it to be at 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's see, 140 Fahrenheit to Celsius is 60 degrees Celsius. So I want the temperature of the tea to reach 60 degrees Celsius. I could have done that math, I now realize. Anyway, so 60 degrees Celsius is the temperature of the tea that I want. And so it will notify me when it reaches 60 degrees Celsius, letting me know that I'm able to drink it. And then as long as the battery remains charged, it will keep it at 60 degrees Celsius until I'm done drinking it. And that is what makes this so magical. I refuse to drink cold coffee. I'll drink cold tea. I'll drink cold other things. But cold coffee is a no-no for me. I can't drink it like coffee. Sorry, I should say coffee that's gone cold. And that includes microwaving that coffee afterward. Microwave coffee is terrible. And so it just has to be dumped out. And so, get up and do different things and forget the coffee. And so then it would get cold. Then I'd have to throw it out. This keeps me from having to throw it out. It comes with a charger that it has. It's just a little charging coaster, and you can see these little pogo pins here. And so you can keep it on the charger, and as long as it's on the charger, it will keep your drink warm throughout the day. So even though it's battery powered, you can use it, free of the charger. But when I'm at my desk, I just keep it on the charger, and then I can go back and have a sip later than that. And the whole time it stays at the temperature I want, the temperature that I set it to. I love my Ember mug. That's the reason why I, started with the mug 1 and ended up upgrading to the mug 2. Because it's fantastic. So if you are looking for a way to, a lot of people think this is it's a heater or something like that. And so it just heats up your coffee. And then once it heats it up, it's done. No, it is a temperature maintainer. It is a way to keep your coffee at a certain temperature, or tea or whatever hot beverage you have, at a certain temperature for as long as there's battery or the ability to place it on the charger. And there are some different options. You can get it like I have with the 14-ounce mug. There's a smaller mug, and then there's also a travel mug. So if you are on the go and you want to keep your coffee warm or at a specific temperature throughout the day, then you can check out the Ember temperature controlled travel mug, which is also available. So yeah, that's my next pick. What is yours?
Well, my next pick is going back to charging, only this time it's specifically an Apple Watch charger, the tiniest Apple Watch charger I've ever seen, and that is the Satechi watch charger. And what I love about this is it's really cute to start with. So it's just the watch park with a little bit of a rectangle around it with a USB-C connector coming out. So you can plug it into a female to male USB-C cable and then plug it into something. But you don't need to do that. So I have a battery pack right here with USB-C on it. And if I plug it in, then that's just it. It's there and it's going to charge. And now I need to get my Apple Watch off my wrist, and boom, it is charging. And there we go. If I tip my watch,
nice.
It should go into, that's the portrait version of the charging mode. And I really like this. It is great for all sorts of things. So I have a small battery pack that I keep in my handbag at all times. And it plugs straight into that, which means that I can always charge my watch, but I don't have to have huge cables running around for things. So this is the battery pack that I actually have in my bag at all times, and this is the charger for comparison. And I just have a short lightning cable. So if I'm running out of battery, or a friend is running out of battery, when I can see other people, then I can charge straight back up and be done, and that's great. It also plugs into your standard wall wart type plugs. I've got a Satechi charger actually, which has got two USB-C and two USB-A's, and I can plug it into one of those USB-Cs and just perch my watch on it, and that's it. I'm done. I don't need to worry about charging anything else, I don't need to worry about plugging in extra cables, because I find, especially when I'm traveling, I don't want that. But this will plug into my iPad Pro, so I can charge my Apple Watch from my iPad Pro. It'll plug into my MacBook Pro or my MacBook Air or a MacBook. And so you can just pop it in there and then charge it, and it's very pocketable. And especially the Apple Watch, it's got great battery life. But every so often an update will come out and your battery life will drain faster than you expect. If you are a developer, this is doubly so. If you're running a beta, then you know that watch batteries will deplete much faster when you're running betas, because they're doing extra logging. And I am a developer and I do run betas. So that means that my Apple Watch needs charging on a regular basis. And I love to be able to charge it. I believe they also make a white version of this. I think when I got it, they only had a space gray. Satechi also recently released something similar, which charges the AirPods Pro. And then they released a double-sided one. So one side is a Qi charger for AirPods Pro or AirPods, and the other side is an Apple Watch one. I just have the Apple Watch one, but my experience with Satechi ones is just great. Get it.
How do you? Oh, I guess if you lay the AirPods down and then you put the charger on top, and then you can lay your Apple Watch over the top. I was trying to think of how you would do that.
No, you can only use one at a time. You use one side at a time.
Okay, gotcha. I was thinking you could charge both, and I thought,
Yeah, no, you can't charge both at the same time, but it means that you will have one little thing that can charge both. Personally, I find if you're traveling, then a small lightning cable, like a 6-inch lightning cable and a battery, will usually get you through most things, especially if you're using, say, your AirPods Pro to cancel noise. But when your Apple Watch inevitably needs charging, then this is a great little, it's basically a dongle, which will charge everything back up for you.
Nice. We're getting some tips in the chat about some other options for folks if they don't want to go the LightDims route. Museum putty is another option, which I think those of us in the U.S. or some of us in the U.S. call blue tack or sticky tack. It's like this little putty that you can peel and stick on things.
It's useful for sticking posters on walls in places where you're not allowed to put pins or nails in and things like that. Yeah.
It's like this. You could stick it over some LEDs if you wanted to. I happen to like my LightDims because they're just so simple of peel and stick, but museum putty would work the same way. Although, like you noted, carrying around gaffer's tape or electrical tape with you when you're traveling, I have a feeling that putty would also fall into the category of things that might get you stopped for an extra search. Because putty,
there are a number of things that if you travel with, you probably want to be careful because when it goes through an X-ray scanner, it doesn't look like what it is. So marzipan, for example, has a suspicious similarity to a plastic explosive. Ask me how I know that. I might or might not have traveled with a block of marzipan in the past, and a very unfortunate, slightly alarmed-looking security agent had to explain it to me. And then I said, I don't have anything like that. I've just got some marzipan that I was taking home from my parents for Christmas from a town just next to where I was living that was famous for their marzipan and had some lovely different flavors. And the guy looked very relieved when I told him that it still took 3 people to go through my suitcase very, very carefully, including, of course, my laundry.
Are you telling me that they didn't make you eat it to prove that it was marzipan?
I offered to open it and eat some if that would make them feel better, but no. Unfortunately, they did not. They accepted it that it was a Christmas present. I did have to take off the wrapping paper, but it was fine. But yeah, just FYI, be careful. If you're taking like rolls of electrical tape or duct tape and stuff, it can show up a little bit weirdly, and people can worry about what you might be doing with it.
That's pretty excellent. The next one is an accessory, that's the word, for the Apple TV in the way of the Apple Watch. And this is Elago's R2 Slim Case. So I've been naming all these very expensive things. For $7, it is a silicone covering for your Apple TV remote. So it has the hole on the back for where the Siri microphone is. It has the hole on the top for the IR blaster, and it leaves the whole front exposed for you to press buttons. But it just makes it slightly more grippable, and also makes it, if you do an accidental drop, this trackpad is glass and can shatter. And so that just keeps it safe. So I ended up buying a couple of these for the Apple TVs I have in my home, and I'm very happy with the purchase. It comes in a bunch of different colors. You can get them in multicolor options. They have some clever ones as well. Elago makes great products for things that you wouldn't expect, some of the stuff that you wouldn't expect, including I recently saw they've got this sticker that you can put on the top of your AirPods Pro or AirPods Pro case or your AirPods case, because over time those magnets can start to collect dust, and when you close it over and over again, it can start to wear away at that covering. And I thought that was interesting. So yeah, Elago comes up with some of the stuff that you think would be kind of, I hate to say scraping the bottom of the barrel, but it seems like that. But then you're like, oh, that'd be very handy. And also it doesn't cost $100,000. And all of that makes it pretty handy. So yeah, the Elago R2 Slim Case for your Apple TV remote, or the Siri remote as it's currently called. It could be called something different in the future. We've heard some rumors about that. But yeah, what's next on your list?
Well, next on my list, Mikah, is another product. It's $59. It is the Apple MagSafe wallet. Now, I have heard a lot of people talk about this, and they've said, I don't know if this is really useful. It only holds 3 cards and things like that. But the beauty of this is I've got an iPhone 12 Pro Max here with a clear case on it, so you can see that ring. You pop it on there, and it just magnetizes into place, and that's it. It does need, you to press at it and sort of slide it off. If you've got a silicone case, it sticks really, really well. It probably doesn't stick quite as well to the leather. I didn't have a leather case for testing. But I really like this. It means that I can always have a card or two with me. So over here in the UK, we have contactless payment pretty much everywhere, which means that we can use Apple Pay up to, I believe it's £45. And then anywhere that supports Apple Pay, we can use it obviously an unlimited amount. But there are some places, like for example fuel pumps, where if I want to fill up my car, I can't use contactless payment because these pumps have not been updated for that. And so I need to use a physical card. So that's what I do. And I also have a tip for people. If you are looking at one of these, put the numbers facing the little hole on the back, because then when you put your thumb in there to slide it, it's much easier to slide that up than it is otherwise. Because obviously, otherwise you're trying to slide against a smooth surface. So I have 2 cards and my driver's license in here, and that does the trick for me. I always have a method of ID, and I have 2 different forms of payment, as well as my phone and my Apple Watch, which of course have got all of my cards on there that support Apple Pay, and so I'm good for pretty much everything. Which really helps, because sometimes I don't feel like I necessarily need to take something with me, but it's always a good idea to have a way of paying for things, an ID on you, even if you don't think you're going to need it. And the fact that this just magnetizes to the iPhone, it's just beautiful. I've actually put a little plate in my car, and it came with the holder that I put a MagSafe charger on in my car. The idea being that you would stick it on your case, or in your case on your phone, to make your phone stick to that. And it actually sticks to my MagSafe wallet to the sun shield on my car. So my MagSafe wallet, I get in the car, I put my phone on my MagSafe charger that I've put in there, and I put the wallet up on the sun shield, and then I've got them, and then I can just grab both and get out the car, and I'm done. I really like this. It's very simple. It's kind of pricey for what it is, but it shields your card, so your cards, the MagStripe strip on your card shouldn't get wiped. I have the Baltic blue. It goes really well with the blue iPhone, actually. It looks really pretty. But they have a couple of colors. And of course, there are alternatives on things like Etsy and so on. What I do like, though, is when you pop the wallet on or off of the phone, it vibrates, just to let you know that, it's attached or it's been detached. And so you know what's going on. It won't tell you if you've lost your wallet, but it will tell you, if you've, it will give you a buzz so that you've got an idea of, oh, something happened. What happened? It was just my Apple. Oh, right. No, it's my Apple Wallet, and I left it. I slid it off in the car or something by accident. I was fiddling with it, using it as a fidget spinner.
Yes, that is. I've been wondering about that because, I've seen some complaints from folks about it flying off, falling off, and I've been eyeballing it for a while and wondering if I should check one out. But hearing what you say about it does give me makes me more interested in wanting to pick one up to add to the back of my case. I have
only ever had it come off if I've tried to shove it in my bag, which has got too much stuff in it, and therefore the wallet is caught on something like a pocket or something, or if I've tried to take it off and I've been fiddling with it, like pushing at it and playing it with it. And so for people who do things like that, I highly recommend purchasing a fidget spinner of some kind, because that will give you something to fiddle with that is not your wallet, where you then end up leaving your cards and ID somewhere, which would not be great. But it's I find it's a really nice accessory, and most of the time now I do only need a card or two and my ID, and if I need more, then I have like all of my loyalty cards and stuff in the glove compartment in my car, because then if I need a loyalty card for a store, I can just grab it, shove it in my pocket, and go in.
Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you would like to laugh while learning about how to take control and take advantage of all of the features that your iOS devices provide, then you should check out iOS Today. The show Rosemary Orchard, my co-host, and I, Mikah Sargent, host every week on the TWiT network. It's all things Apple all the time.
Keep up with all the hottest tech news and gadgets. Visit twit.tv. There you'll be able to find and subscribe to all our tech shows. Thanks for watching Hands on Tech.